Okay, it's gone live. I'm just gonna check this for a second and then switch it off. Yes. Okay, it's gone live. All right. Let's begin. Right. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ringside Fracas. I'm joined by my lovely guest who decided to turn up today, Jide. Jide, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just got lots of fights to get through this week, don't we? Lots of big fights that we're all interested in. So for
Yeah.
those, yeah, go on.
No, go on.
For those that don't know, you better know by now. There's a big unification bout happening between ERROL SPENCE and YORDENIS UGAS for 3 of the 4 belts that are available. It's a very big fight, as the winner of it possibly could go on to fight Crawford for the undisputed, but we'll go on to whether or not they will. We've got a lot of agendas about that as well to get through. And then we've also got a big, not big, just a British fight between Conor Benn and Chris Van Heerden as he continues to gain more experience before he makes a world title run at one point in his career. So lots to get into today. Hopefully we get some good entertainment from both fights. So I'm gonna do something new this week. We haven't done it before, but I'm gonna put up some facts, some tale of the tapes that we've created here at Ringside. So ERROL Spence Jr., YORDENIS UGAS, both of them sort of similar ages, 32, 35. 27 fights, 31 fights, but obviously Spence is the undefeated fighter and Ugas has lost 4 times. Although one of them, the Sean Porter fight, don't think he lost that fight. I think he won that, but the other ones he lost decisively. 5'10", 5'9", so not much difference in height. The reach, there is a big difference. ERROL holds the 3-inch reach advantage, and going into some of the breakdowns I'm going to do, that is key. So hold on to that fact. You got Southpaw and Orthodox, so this is again key to the battle between them, how they break it down. Obviously, ERROL Spence is a unified welterweight champion, and YORDENIS UGAS got his belt, WBA belt, recently. The rounds, the rounds are pretty much different. They've had only 4 fights between them, but the rounds, I think, there's a 76 round difference. So I think it's pretty telling. One fighter has more power than the other, and who's got more experience in the rounds. The last win, ERROL Spence, his last win came in, I think, was it 2020 December against Danny Garcia with a UD win, and YORDENIS UGAS beat Pacquiao last year with a UD win. ERROL Spence was meant to fight Pacquiao, but he had an eye injury that pulled him out of the fight, and YORDENIS UGAS therefore stepped up on short notice to take that fight. All right. So let's get into it, Jide. What do you think about the fight as a whole?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good substitute to what we actually want. Obviously, this is not what we wanted, but we're getting it. Credit to Spence for taking the top fight, coming right straight out of the injury. I think it's an interesting fight stylistically as well. Like YORDENIS UGAS has fought in many ways. He's counterpunched, he's pressured, he's shown he's very fluid and adaptable in the ring. While Spence, we know what his bread and butter is. He tries to break you down methodically. So if he does that sort of fight against UGAS, we know UGAS can match him doing that. And yeah, I think it's a really good fight, and I don't think it's going anyone stopping anyone. And they're fighting in Texas, so even if Ugas wins, he's not getting a decision. So that's my prediction for that fight.
But I agree with your sentiment about the not stopping anyone, because it's a recent Ade Oladipo, he recently brought that up on his channel as well. He was saying with Spence, they usually talk about him as big puncher, a body puncher, and you're brilliant and you can stop guys, but he hasn't stopped anyone since 2018, which I think the last one was probably Ocampo. So when he fought Mikey Garcia, when he fought Danny Garcia, when he fought Sean Porter, he hasn't stopped any of them. So not having a stoppage for over 3 years is a big thing. So yeah, I agree with that sentiment. The fact that it's not going to go, it's not going to get stopped. I do expect someone to get dropped though, because with Ugas, if you've watched some of the fights, especially the fights, there's some fights where he's got dropped in, and I don't think in those rounds it's been left hooks, which he's susceptible to, and I think Spence can easily find that left hook. There's a lot of the narrative behind this has always been, what is Spence like now, especially after the car crash we saw against Danny Garcia, and I think it was a better performance against Danny Garcia because he fought Garcia, but he fought more tentatively. He took his time, used his jab to keep Garcia at bay, not to let his left hook come at him or anything, and he slowly broke him down over the rounds and won the majority of the rounds. But the eye injury that he recently got, that's a bit worrying, because if he does get hit, what will happen? We don't know what could happen. Could that eye, tear again from the socket? And that's good. That's a career-ending injury. He's lucky that he's fighting again. Will Ugas exploit the fact that he's got an eye injury? Really target the eye, because a lot of fighters do that. That's what I don't think people take into account. A lot of fighters know that you have an injury somewhere, and they'll take account. They see a cut, they'll keep punching your cut, and they'll make it bleed. I think the key for Spence to winning this fight is probably to use his jab, use his reach, keep Ugas at bay, but also use his body punching that he's so well known for to break down Ugas, because what both of them have, they're both brilliant fighters, where in the the later rounds, the championship rounds, they both can stick it on the other fighter, and that's why they take more rounds off. That's what Ugas did, especially against someone like Sean Porter, which is hard to outwork him, but he did that in the 10th and 12th, and that's what also Errol Spence did. So it's early on, Errol has to invest in the body to take away from Ugas, and Ugas has to just close the distance and just get his shots off, because if it's at range, Errol will be fine. You can keep him at range, you can keep it long, and but if he can control the fight, if he can control the middle of the ring, and you can get to Spence, then you can take these rounds, and you can definitely hurt Spence. But I think this is definitely Spence's fight to lose. Although a lot of people on Twitter and the boxing media have said they think Ugas could win this or do the upset, it's definitely Spence's fight to lose. Like, he should win this, because I think Ugas, while he's a brilliant fighter, I don't think at his best he should beat Errol Spence at his best. But that's the issue that we have here: is Errol Spence going to come to this fight on his best? I mean, one question I have for you: the winner of this fight, do you think that they'll take on Terence Crawford for the undisputed, or do you think it won't happen?
It won't happen. They're not fighting it.
Like completely, you don't think?
100%. Because they already got two barriers. You got the WBA regular champion, who's mandatory, who's supposed to be the one fighting Spence. He's going to say, I want my shot. I've stepped aside for you guys to fight. I want my shot. So they're going to have to take care of that. Then PBC done a big production with that other loser. What's his name? Keith Thurman.
You're right, bro?
Listen, Daff was out here doing striptease, but yeah.
Yo, sorry.
That's mine.
It was an accident. My bad.
But yeah, PBC done a big production with Thurman, saying, I should be the one fighting these guys. They ducked me. They're only fighting because I lost to Thurman. It should have been me. Like, they're not going to put money doing a big production and press conference if they don't have plans of putting Thurman in there with the winner or one of them in that mix, right? So we've got Thurman and we've got the mandatory to go through. That situation needs to be sort of ironed out. And then it also benefits them because Crawford will be another year or 2 years older, bit more worn-torn. The fight's not happening until 2023, 24, probably 24. And that's if they both don't lose. Which, listen, Boots is coming and Boots wants his shot. All these guys are coming up and they want their shot. So their window is so narrow that I just don't see this fight happening. If Ugas wins, I feel like the fight happens though. I feel like Ugas is the type to say, you know, fuck these guys. I don't care what you're saying. I want to fight Crawford. But Spence A side, this side of the street, speak to Al Heyman, I'm doing business, I got an eye patch, you know, all these things that boy, fuck them guys, man.
Spence trying to move up as well.
I'll be back in a second. Jaffa, what's your thoughts on the fight?
Wait, before I get into the fight, I just want to say Spence as well. He's only got a few fights left at welterweight. He doesn't want to stay at this weight class. He wants to move up. You can tell that it's draining him trying to make weight now. Like, you can see it in his face. Yeah. So I don't think he wants to stay at this weight class much longer. So if he wins this fight, which I'm expecting him to, just get the undisputed on, man. Don't waste our time, please. I'm actually begging you, Spence. I don't want to hear no around the street, back in the corner. Get the fight on, and let's get this undisputed happening, man. Because at this point, like, they're both so proven. There's actually no one left to fight. Like, who else is there to fight but them two? If he beats you guys, like, you have all the belts are there. Like, just get it on, man. But in terms of you guys and Spence, there's so many questions I have for Spence because I'm really not confident with that car crash, man. I'm really not confident. Like, I genuinely, like, I don't. Danny Garcia wasn't able to expose much, but I still feel like if he gets hit in the correct place or he gets pushed enough, we're gonna see remnants of that accident. You don't just get in a car accident like that and just start boxing, bro. Like, there has to be something there. But he hasn't shown any weakness so far. People always say that, you know, he looked fantastic versus Danny Garcia despite the accident, but I don't actually agree with that. I think Spence looks much better before the accident. So I definitely think he slowed down a bit after the accident. He still won, and he still, like, boxed well and stuff like that. But I still think he's even he said it himself at the end of the fight, like, he's actually much better than this, you know. But I still think Spence wins. I think Spence wins. I think it goes to points and he wins a unanimous decision. But you guys, his game, man. He's game bred. He's coming to win. So it's going to be a sick fight. I can't wait.
Speaking of Spence, look who joins us now. The ultimate Spence fan. How are you, Sam?
It's just man down strap season, baby. No. There's a new one. It's eat or get 8. That's what we did.
Did you say that recently?
Eat or get 8. Let's not promote that, man. That sounds mad. Let's not promote that one. Let's leave that one in the bank.
Chris Andre said,
I know you saw the black Air Forces, so you know that time it means what that
Bro
means.
said eat or get 8. Nah, man.
Boy,
yes, Chris Andre, thanks for being here. Saying Jide ruined my day right now. The Bud fight has to happen next, or I enter depression. Lord. I mean, most of us would.
It's happening. Bud ain't got nowhere to go.
There's so many blocks though.
There isn't.
You have a WBA mandatory who steps aside for this fight to happen. Then you have the WBA mandatory. He said the man that steps aside for this fight to happen. They guaranteed him. The PBC guaranteed him a shot at the winner if they win, whatever. So you got that issue.
We talk about all the marbles.
It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. Like the WBA, like at a point, unification trumps mandatories. But when you stepped aside already for a fight to happen, and now you have to step aside again, come on. Unless they're giving man 5-10 million, which we know the PBC ain't got money like that. So you got that issue. Then you also got Keith Thurman coming out doing a big old PBC sanctioned promotion saying, I want the winner. I should be the one fighting right now. They're basically angling him to be a fight for one of them, for whoever wins that. Like Bud,
I highly doubt Keith Thurman gets.
You can doubt it. You can doubt, but I'm just saying it's the PBC doing that. They approved that. They put money behind it.
Several reasons. I highly doubt it.
They put money behind it. Obviously, I want the fight to happen. I just don't rate your people. Like, your people have shown time and time again that they don't want the biggest fights. So if when Spence wins, and wins probably is going to be controversial. He's in Texas. Like, them man are not going to give Ugas a fair shake at all. We know that. But he wins. I want him to call out. I want him to call out Bud.
Why is he getting a fair shake when he's getting man down today? I don't understand.
He's not getting man down, man. Come on. You know, Spence don't stop guys like that. You don't stop guys like you guys.
He's only 21 in
I want to see
27.
that. I want to see that in the prediction league then.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna see that.
Yeah,
I
you
wanna
better
see
put
that.
Spence by stoppage, bro. You
He's
better
only
do it.
stopped 21 in 27.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope in the prediction league you say Spence by stoppage.
No, you guys already said that you guys are all you guys supporters, so I only see you guys.
What does that mean? I'm saying Spence by UD. Spence UD for me.
Yeah, I think you guys is a strong, commendable guy, but he will touch canvas today.
Yeah, we'll get beat. I don't know if he starts, we'll probably get beat. And if he wins,
I'm saying I don't know if he gets stopped, but he's touching canvas today.
yeah,
Them black Air Forces were a big signal.
You hope he does. You hope he does because you know he's going to be targeting that eye, and eye patch is going to be getting that PTSD.
Oh my god!
It's going to be.
Guy, your hate is so mad, yeah.
There's no hate. I used to be a huge Spence fan, but when you're moving funny, I'm sorry, I can't support you.
We've already said, yeah. Once we get past this fight, the next fight is Crawford. All this talk that you keep doing is rhetoric you've been giving for years.
It's not a theory or conspiracy. It's true.
Where?
Chris Andre said Spence and Derek James have said Bud is next. If he comes through this,
I hope so, Chris.
They find. As Dapper says, if Spence has health issues, they'll have to cash out with Bud for the money.
I hope it's next, man. I hope it's next.
We're missing, yeah.
Forgetting the health issues. Yeah, Spence doesn't want to stay at that weight class, bro. He's trying to move out there.
He needs to get out there. Even though he came in 1.6 point and a quarter.
Well, look at his cheekbones, bro. Like he's done with his weight class, man.
He
Couple more
looks
fights, and he's out.
amazing.
He's out.
He looks fine. He looks absolutely fine. He wasn't weight.
His what bones? His what
cheekbones.
bones?
Wasn't weight.
Hey, chill out, man.
He didn't look weight. He looks good at the weight.
He's big. But he is big for that
Yeah,
weight class.
He's huge for the weight. He's massive for the weight.
He's big.
But you can see the
work. He looks good though. He does look good.
The nutritionist has definitely done his job. Like, I think having a nutritionist and bringing that into the team has been a massive benefit to him.
Why has he only just started that now?
I hope the nutritionist can protect his eye because I need that eye to be fine for when Bud gets his hands on him.
Oh my god!
I need that eye to be working.
Bud right now is looking for a pound note. Like he's actually dead in the water right now because if he doesn't drink PVC now, it's deep. Because the people with Planet Journey with Pro Bellum, they're having a bit of legal.
Yeah, listen. Say what you want. Say what you want. Well, you know when my boy puts his hands.
He's about to get that 20% break off.
Puts his hands on that salmon, that little fish.
I've got a question. If Spence stops you guys tonight, Jide, are you worried about Bud?
No, I'm legit not worried about Bud. Bro, I feel like Bud is the generational fighter of this generation. Is the most talented guy in the welterweight division.
Follow up question. If Spence beats you guys, does that mean at welterweight Spence has the better wins?
Of course,
because okay.
Spence he's a career welterweight. He has to have the better wins. Like that's not controversial. He's been a career. It's like
no, because obviously when Bud knocked out when he stopped, what's my man's name? When he stopped Porter, everyone was saying that he did it better than
he did
better than I agree, he did it better than Spence, so therefore automatically now
that's stupid.
His wins are better. People were saying this though. I don't agree, obviously.
Whoever's saying that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Your career welterweight, you're going to have the better wins. He fought Brook when Brook was the champion. Yes, Brook was damaged, but it was still the champion.
I love all the caveats.
I just have to remind people.
There was no caveat.
He fought Porter, younger Porter. It was a great fight, close fight. Drops him, wins that. He has the better wins at welterweight. He just does, and that is perfectly fine. The better fighter is Bud. The pound for pound fighter is Bud. The guy that can do, like you hear Derek James coming out and saying, trying to throw a little shot, saying, a lot of fighters now they're using their athleticism, But
it's not throwing shots. It's true. A lot of fighters.
Yeah, they are. But he's not. I know he's not talking about Bud, because Bud don't just use his athleticism. Bud is cerebral. Bud is the type of guy that uses his brain. Bud is adjusted in the ring 10 times more than Spence has. Spence has just been clubber. Like, then then he had an eye injury, so he's not.
Spence is being clever.
He was not trying to box his after he got his eye busted.
If you go back just a couple of fights ago, when they said that, oh yeah, Spence can only fight one way. What did he do against Mikey Garcia? He beat him at his game.
Here we go. Do you know what Floyd says when people say, "Oh, Floyd only runs," and Floyd lies that, "Oh, I purposely stood there and fight you so I can show up." No, that's all lies. He fought Mikey Garcia like that because it was tentative. He's hurt. He doesn't know how his body would react. He knows this guy's smaller than him.
He fought Mikey Garcia before the crash.
Sorry,
I forget Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Danny Garcia, he beat him up, and then he gassed him a little bit.
He punched. He stayed away from him. He stayed away from him. I'm not saying he ran, but he didn't really mix it up with him.
He punched up Garcia, man.
Danny Garcia with Spence was definitely the headline.
It was an easy fight because Danny Garcia slow plodding feet, and he just stood around him and he just beat him from distance. But I'm just telling you, I have seen. You can't. I know you're not going to try to disagree with me. Who adjusts more in ring, Spence or Bud?
Bud, because Bud has had to adjust. He's been losing.
Yeah.
He's losing against Porter the first couple rounds.
Of course, yes.
Porter was absolutely hammering him. Then he had to adjust. Gamboa was hammering him, and he had to adjust.
Yeah.
Who else? Bud has to. Kell Brook was battering him for the first couple rounds, and he had to adjust.
Oh, like he was battering Spence.
Okay.
Are you gonna really do your eye? Are you really? Go watch that fight again. Who was winning? Who was winning?
After 6 rounds.
Oh, here we go.
Against Crawford, he was losing the first couple rounds, and he adjusted.
Crawford is a better boxer, like a boxer. He's got more boxing skills. Spence is, and even in terms of athleticism, I feel like they're the same.
No. Crawford's more athletic than Spence. I'll give you that. He's faster than him. He's got better feet.
It's arguable.
It's inches. We're talking about inches here.
Yeah. So again, that's why it's a great fight. It's a great fight, and I don't know why Eye Patch has been.
It is a sick fight
to make the fight happen.
It's not a matter of making the fight happen. It's a matter of certain people just don't want to accept their value until now they've got no to tell.
Accept their value. Okay. Where Eye Patch himself said this was the plan from the get-go. Save this.
Either way, yeah. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, you can keep doing the revisionist and historian thing, but we're here now. Like I said to you early in the pod, I think early this year, I said this is the year we're going to get the fights we want. Yeah, because people haven't got options anymore. And now that the options are getting pulled away from Crawford, who thought was going to run off and do a little, Dubai thing, but the Dubai is looking a bit shaky now. He hasn't got options. He literally hasn't got options. If he wants to feed his kids, we'll tell them. He has to take what he's accepted, and it's perfect now. So everybody's come to the front now.
You say he's been greedy, but your boys are offering him 25 mil for 2 fights.
It's good value. When that guy's away,
good value. What was this guy saying in the group chat before?
You know what?
Let's not make this a Bud versus.
We are pro feed our people, so it's fine.
Let's not make it a Bud. Hey, I gotta go football, but listen. Don't let this guy pull the wool over your eyes. Dapper, Naeem, check him. You've been in a group chat. As much when he starts talking, check him. Because I can't do that now. I have to go win the semi-final. Check him, please. Thank you.
Good luck on the match, bro.
Thank you, Chris. Chris hits.
Good luck, brother.
Right.
Chris hits it on the head here. Exactly what I'm saying. Fundamentally, Spence is A1. Like he's got a great jab, keeps great distance, keeps the range. Crawford does use a bit more athleticism and has to adjust because the fight's not going his way. But as he's saying, the fight has happened. We're going to see what the outcome is, and it's perfect because now we are getting to a point where there's no options. Spence has to move out the way. Crawford needs to get paid, and here we are. Once we see man down tonight.
So do you genuinely think Spence stops him tonight? Is that what you're going for?
I'm saying that Ugas is a tough guy. I don't want that. No one should underestimate him. And luckily, because I know Spence enough to know that he doesn't underestimate people, and he, as you can see, he physically has been like his head's been on this fight for months since possibly the Pacquiao fight, since he knew he lost it. Is that you can see he's been walking around in shape for months. We've never seen that. It seems like he's kind of just got himself honed into a new lifestyle with playing around with the chickens and the horses and his farm and so forth, and just living a boxer's life now. So he's not blowing up. He's been in shape, and even though I remember a month ago saying Spence looks like he's ready to fight tomorrow, and we're looking at him now thinking this guy's really, really honed in his craft. So tonight is going to be a really good exhibition of why we're calling him the truth.
So for the Spotify listeners, if you obviously can't read it, but Chris Andre says, personally, I believe Spence is the better technical boxer. Bud is more adaptable, though. It's a great fight, man. The fact that these debates still happen show why it has to happen next. Well, yeah, you're right about that, Chris. I agree with your point about, I was telling Jide early on about this, the fact that Ugas will probably drop and touch the canvas, because if you watch some of his fights, especially in the mid rounds between like 7 to 9, he gets hit with a lot of left hooks and left straights because he keeps his rear hand down sometimes, because like he sort of just loses focus there. So I do think obviously Spence can touch him, but the key thing to winning this fight for me, I think, will probably be the early rounds, what they do, and the championship rounds, because both of them are known to stick it on the other fighter in the championship rounds. They've got good conditioning, they've got and that's when they sort of take the fight away. So who gets those championship rounds will be key to winning that fight, I think. And I think for Spence to do that early on, you got to invest in the body and you got to use your reach. I don't know if you saw, but we added this to the stream, the tail of the tape, and Spence actually has a 3-inch reach advantage on Ugas, so he's got to make use of that with his jab. And so what are your final predictions, Samson? Dapper, you said UD.
Yeah, I tweeted early in the week. I because I'm leading so far ahead now. I thought it'd just be quite a little.
Oh, don't do that, man.
So I've said straight away that Spence UD is the cash money. Like it's a safe bet, but at the same time, because I know that Spence is really honed in this fight, I won't be surprised if we get a late stoppage. You know what, as well, yeah. As much as everyone keeps talking about you guys' skill and so forth and so forth, yeah. I feel like at times when you guys is happy to get into a bit of a dogfight, which plays in Spence's hands massively, because Spence is going to invest the body. We know Spence is going to go to the body early, and we know that if you try and stand there and trade with Spence, historically it doesn't really work out for you. A lot of fighters do that and then back off now, or tend to back off now, not want to engage like a Danny Garcia, where he realizes quite quickly, yo, this is just different kettle of fish here. So you guys who likes to get drawn into that fight is probably a bit more susceptible to being knocked out because of it.
Fair enough. I think
a bit like Porter as well. But when Porter got dropped, the sole reason why Porter was doing very well, moving around using his feet, gets drawn into a dogfight, eventually gets tagged. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's both times, especially with Crawford as well. But with Ugas, I think a lot of people are overplaying that Pacquiao win.
Exactly.
It was a good win, but Pacquiao was very active in that fight. But Pacquiao's always active. Like he always throws like 70 punches around and whatever. Like he was always like coming at you.
It just wasn't Pacquiao yesterday.
Yeah, he didn't know how to cut off the distance better. Like he was struggling to get past Ugas's jab at times, and you could tell it was a younger fighter taking an older fighter.
It's quite simple. Pacquiao's feet are just not the legs of yesterday. Pacquiao's feet yesterday was A1. Like he had that bounce, that double bounce, and he can get in and out with absolute ease. Whereas now, after about 3-4 rounds, you see him in the corner rubbing his calves because he's getting
cramps.
Cramps.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. That guy's an old man. How does he run his legs doing?
He's plus 40, isn't he? So
yeah.
I mean, he's done everything though. I mean, the guy's
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with you too. Though. Don't let the Pacquiao win like blind you guys, man.
Yeah.
The impressive win, he didn't get a win, was probably the Porter. I thought he won the Porter fight, and that was a good fight from him. So that's what I've sort of judged him on, basically. Like,
I thought he won that fight as well. It was close though, but he dropped Porter in it, so I thought he won.
It didn't count, did it? It didn't count which swung the fight.
Basically, yeah. If it counted, he would have won that fight easily. And that's the thing. I think Ugas is a guy who's easily a top 5 welterweight. It's just does he bridge into those top 2 elite between obviously Spence and Crawford?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's that's what we're gonna find out tomorrow night. Is he gonna today night? Sorry. So yeah, gotta go.
I can't lie though. I want a mad thing, man.
Chris.
I want to see people lift the canvas. Like, I want a war, man.
We will get a war because of Ugas' style. Where as much as he's got great feet, he just seems to like to trade as well. Especially if he if someone presents it, he takes it. So because of it, you're gonna see the body work which Spence always invests in. He's a throwback body work like puncher. Do you know what I mean? So he's gonna mix it up as one of the clips with the guy that Conor Benn's gonna beat up tonight. Like
Van Heerden.
Yeah, Van Heerden. Once Spence gets going, he's going straight to the body. He's gonna invest the body. He's gonna mix up that body to head. So yeah, it's gonna be good fun.
One thing Ade Oladipo brought up, and I brought this up with Jide earlier on. It was that how Spence early on had this sort of aura around him. He's this monster puncher, body puncher. He can beat guys up and knock them out. But he hasn't had a knockout since 2018.
Yeah,
has that aura sort of left where he's this like big puncher?
No, I don't think so. I think that is a clear indication that the people that he's fighting understand who they're fighting and know not to stay in the in the pool with him. And that's what it is. That you get fighters that literally say, okay, this guy's. It's a bit like Wilder.
When you answer in the pool, these metaphors are killing me, fam. Sorry, go on.
When you know there's sharks in the water, you don't jump into the water. It's as simple as that. You're gonna stay as far away from and stay on the edge of that pool as possible. You're gonna try and fish from the sides. You ain't gonna try and jump in the pool no more. It's not safe in there. So all these guys, like Mikey Garcia, who was more than happy, he was literally doing AJ when AJ fought Usyk and celebrating, coming out the rounds basically, like for not getting dropped.
Leave my boy out here, man.
You got Danny Garcia disengaging with him for the same reasons. Like, yeah, this is long. Like, I'm not winning the fight. I ain't getting knocked out though, so I'm just not going to engage. And that's what these guys do.
Although Sam, put my boy down for no reason, I agree with him because I don't think his power is good anywhere. I think the level of competition is getting better, and I think, like Sam said, I think these guys understand what they're fighting. So vulnerable areas where they could get hurt or could get stopped, they've tried to work on those things and kind of stay away from those things. If they're just losing the fight, they'll just stay away from him as a fighter. Overall, I said in the group chat, I would not be surprised if Spence stopped him. Like, genuinely, I'm 50-50 points and late stoppage. But the reason I'm going with points is because I just think you guys are just so game. Like, I feel like he would put himself through any sort of pain to just get to the end of this fight, and not just that, to win. And fighters like that, you can either have two scenarios with fighters like that. They absolutely get rocked and stopped, or they push themselves to see the end of the fight.
Get to the final.
It's the only reason why I've picked points, because I just think you guys are just not going to say it's just not going to be denied. But it's a very
wow.
Why
does it say that? Who did I hate on?
Nah, you be hating though. You be hating, bro. Sam's be hating. You be hating still.
He's not wrong.
biggest hater in Ringside, fam.
In this last 30 minutes, who did I hate on?
AJ.
When?
You don't know that he did it. You see how big of a hater this guy is, fam.
This
guy be hating, fam.
Because of the comment against Usyk.
Nah, you be hating, bro.
Because that comment was fair. Was the
life of BOJ is right, man.
Guys try to call me out for stuff that's just not true. Yeah, that comment about AJ versus Usyk was was complete fact. AJ was celebrating surviving the rounds.
No, it's true. It's true.
That's not hating. It's me calling what it was. I said Conor Benn's gonna smash up Ben. What his name is, Ben Heerden later on today. There's no hate. Oh, because of the AJ, sneak the AJ reference. That's not
every time, bro. Every time.
I've used many references today.
Leave my boy alone,
but every
man.
week, lots of weeks, you always use an AJ reference. There's always an AJ reference.
We get that back. 3 times champ. We go, baby.
We'll talk about the number 3 or 4 heavyweight of champion of the world.
We getting that back. We getting it back anyway. We'll come back to number 1.
Wait. As much as you guys got on to say this year, for weeks price out fight, I said AJ.
You did.
I'm just calling it as I see it, bro. I'm just trying to be objective. That's it. It's not a matter of hating. Like, it's just a matter of me trying to call it as I see it.
We
No,
got
I
the
hear
footage.
it. I hear it.
I'd say we caught you in 4K, but our footage is in 4K, so it's 360p. But yeah.
But no. I don't think his power's left him. I just think it's a combination of different things. You know, opponents are getting better. The level of opponents is rising. They know where they're vulnerable against him, so they try to avoid that. But like I said in the group chat, I would really not be surprised if Spence stops him late. But the reason I'm going with points just because I think you guys' game.
Yeah, facts.
One thing, just last thing about Spence, and then we'll move on to the big. Not big. I keep saying big. It's not big. It's just a British welterweight fight, but whatever.
Wait, we started with Conor Benn. We started with Spence.
No, Van Heerden. We're gonna do the Van Heerden fight after, but I'm
just
gonna last thing about
start with the smaller fight first.
Because it's a big fight. You want to start with the big fight, don't you? Like,
okay, fair enough.
Then we're gonna lose the viewers' interest in Conor Benn. Who cares about Conor Benn anyway? But so I personally think for Spence and Crawford, they're sort of in similar points in their career where they're at sort of the last. This is probably what they've probably got 1.5 years left at welterweight. I don't think they're gonna like in 2023. I don't expect both of them to be welterweight champions anymore. I think they're gonna move up at 154. How well do you think they do at 154? Considering the guys that are there, like I think Charlo is gonna go regardless of the undisputed. Yeah. But we still got Brian Castano, Tim Zhu, Sebastian Fundora, Tony Harrison. Am I missing anyone else?
No, that's about it. Yeah, that's
yeah.
The main guy.
There's still 4 top dogs there who I think any one of them, all of them could be, or any one of them could be champions. How well do you think they do? Dapo, I'm going to come to you first. How well do you think Spence and Crawford does at 154?
I need to see them at the weight first. But if I'm following everything we know of them now, I think they could win. I think they could become champions that weight class.
Yeah.
It depends. I think they could, both of them, in my opinion.
Sam's you?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the 154 division is that stacked. It's a nice division to go to and grab a belt quite comfortably. Especially you know Charlo's going to move out as well. I won't be surprised Tony Harrison kind of follows as well. So it's not really like the most stacked division to go and pick up a belt and say yeah, and ride out your career there as a 2-weight champion. Well, in Crawford's case, it'll be more weight champion. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that, and I think it's a nice way to bow out as well.
Yeah, that would be a sick way to exit for Crawford.
Yeah. Can we raise this point, yeah? Because we've been talking about undercards for the last couple of weeks, yeah,
and
how bad the undercards have been. And I know you love to sleep PBC, but I've realized there's no credit for the undercard today.
I was about to get onto who to watch for this Saturday. So yeah, I was about to get on.
There's a really good undercard for this fight.
Yeah, no, it's a decent undercard. So for those that don't know, so the co-main, it's not, these lot don't use the term co-main. So on the undercard, it's first Isaac Cruz versus Yuri Gamboa. That's sort of like a filler fight for Cruz. It's sort of like, okay, we're going to get you this guy because Gamboa's finished. We all know that. We've seen his.
I think Cruz missed weight on this as well.
He made it after an hour.
Okay.
So he just made it. So that fight for Cruz is more like, okay, we're going to give you a filler fight while we try to sort out a bigger fight, whether that is the Ryan Garcia fight or the Tank rematch or whatever they want to do.
Friendly fight.
Sorry, quick caveat. Garcia looked shocking in his last fight. We didn't talk about it, but he looked trash. Ryan Garcia.
Oh yeah. We can go on to that. That's fine. If we've got time, we'll go on to it. There's obviously that's a filler fight, but I think a knockout should come. Gamboa's the type of guy who takes a lot of shots to the chin. So Cruz is a good puncher, so I think he should be able to knock him out. What do you think, Sams?
Yeah, pretty much that. So yeah.
Dapo, you interested in that fight, Cruz and Gamboa?
Not at all, but Cruz should win. Gamboa's old now, man.
Yeah, 100%. Another fight on that is so that whole WBA situation that Ugas was going through a few months ago it's solving itself now. We've got Radzab Butaev versus Stanionis for the WBA regular belt. I presume that the winner of that fight will be ordered to fight the winner of the Ugas and Spence for the WBA Super. So because obviously the WBA have that new policy where they want to get rid of regular belts by ordering the Super and the regular champions to fight each other, although they didn't order Tank to fight any of his Super champions. So they're just picking and choosing whoever they want to
but Undisputed supersedes that, so we move.
Yeah,
That can wait.
It'll be. They'll fight for a title next. That will be their next fight. So that's an interesting fight, and it's a good fight as well. Butayev and both Stanionis are good welterweights. I think they're top 10. Whether you consider them top 5 is up to opinion, but they're good fights. It's a good fight to watch. Sams, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I agree.
And then what's the other? Oh, there's obviously we have the Cody Crowley versus Jose Zito Lopez. Cody's an undefeated welterweight, and this is a big experience step up for him. With Jose Zito, he's been there with everyone, Thurman, Canelo. He's been with everyone, so it's a good step up for him. So that's an interesting fight to watch. And then one of the prospects that I've been calling out last year, that I said he's someone to watch. Brandon Lee at 140, he's fighting Zachary Ochoa. Keep an eye out on Brandon, because I think this year, especially as well, you're going to start to see him level up. I think he's 24-0, so he's going to start to level up the opposition, and hopefully by next year get himself ready for a title shot. I mean, he's young, but he's so good. So keep watching for that. Have you guys seen anything from Brandon Lee before?
Not much.
No, I think I've caught him before, but because I remember you mentioning him before, I was like, yeah, I'll make sure,
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Investments on stocks in.
Yeah, keep an eye out for this event, because he's actually a quality fighter. So now we're going to move on to the British side of things, what we've got going on. And we've got this. So Conor Benn versus Chris Van Heerden. We'll just go through quickly the tail of the tape. So obviously Conor Benn, the younger fighter, and has had way
almost 10 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, 10 years. And he hasn't lost, but Chris Van Heerden lost twice. I think one was to Spence.
First time it was, dropped and stopped. Just
yeah. I mean, I think it was going to happen against. So his last fight was against Ennis, and I think Ennis was going to beat him up within 4 rounds. It's just unfortunate that the clash of heads happened, and it stopped that fight immediately. And that's my prediction for this. I do think that there's another clash of heads going to happen in this fight as well. Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't, but I think it will, because again, orthodox.
You think so?
Yeah, because. So I was interested because I looked into Chris Van Heerden's last few fights, right? So if you look at it, right, so obviously you've got the Jaron Ennis fight where you got a headbutt, right? Yeah. And before that he fought Kozayev, yeah. Van Heerden cut above left eye and right eye, both from accidental headbutts. And then the fight before that, Montez, Van Heerden cut right eye, accidental headbutt. So his last 3 fights, he's had 3 headbutts, basically. Just only one of them being called off, so that's why I think
that's fighting with his head.
It's also because
and it's the style, and they've got that style where they both kind of go in as well.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That if you watch the Ennis fight, Ennis was very he was coming forward. He put him to the ropes and he kept just beating him up, but then he just came in once and bang, their heads just hit each other and they couldn't continue. Obviously, Van Heerden's 1 inch. He's got a 1 inch in height, but he's got a 4-inch reach advantage. Now, I'd say that's useful, but I don't think Van Heerden's going to try box him. Usually what Van Heerden's been doing, especially against guys that have got power and more athletic, he tends to back up to the ropes and look for counters. And that's not good against someone like Conor Benn. You don't want
to sit in target.
Conor Benn's going to stop him, man. Duck.
Yeah. The knockouts for Van Heerden's not really a power puncher. He's only had 12, and surprisingly, Conor's only had 13 knockouts, which is not that many, but it's still more than half.
He's talked up. That's why it seems like he's absolutely destroyed everyone.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the rounds. I mean, the experience.
I mean, he's been stopping people lately, more than he was earlier.
Yeah.
I guess because he's gotten a bit better, I guess. But overall, he hasn't. I don't think he should be labeled as this knockout puncher guy. It doesn't make sense.
You know what, yeah? Eddie Hearn said something the other day, yeah. And I swear, I was meant to send the group chat. He's speaking to Conor, and he goes, yeah, after this, it's a real step up fight for you because you've really proven yourself on a British and European level. I was thinking, wow, that's a crazy lie.
That's a big lie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Wait, did he say what British and European level when Evanesi's still there? That's a big lie.
Still there. All the British guys that you never thought are still there that really probably will trouble you.
He basically said because you beat Algeria, you've basically proven yourself on that level.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The guy that retired Algeria. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But Van Heerden basically retired because his last fight was against Ennis. So since 2019, he's only had 1 round. He basically semi-retired. Basically, I mean, look at the rounds difference. Heerden's 234, Conor's 82, and obviously the last win's the Algerian knockout and the Kazayev win. But
everyone knows how much I love Eddie, but we have to call him out. He's bullshit, man.
He chats crap.
Yeah, he does. I mean, this is Granados. This is the third fighter where it's Granados, Algieri, and now Van Heerden, where they're just guys who are coming just to sort of test him a bit, get their money, and go home because they're not really committed to boxing.
Do you think he's stat padding, man? That's what he's doing. Stat padding his Conor Benn stat pad because a lot of these names.
You can get into that argument that he's kind of.
He kind of is because these names like it will twinkle your ear and raise your eyebrow.
It's the I've been in with good guys in the past, but I'm over the hill now. Exactly. And I'm just taking a good payday.
I mean, I'm not expecting him to go against someone like Virgil Ortiz, obviously, but there are better ways to get development.
You should though. You really should. What's the reason why you're not? Like, as in, if this is apparently our British world level champion, welterweight, who's going to go out there apparently meant to compete with the top guys, I would expect him to compete with Ortiz.
The thing is that he's not. He hasn't proven that yet, so we don't know.
That's
the point we're trying to make. Yeah, that's what the promoters are saying, but according to them, man. But as the fans, we know that he's not. So before we start labeling him as such, we need to see him clear the British scene, or at least fight one person that's like good enough from that scene. You know, fight the European champion and then move into world level. But that's just not how he's been built up for some reason. He's just fighting guys that are way past it. When I say way past it, way past it. That last fight was shocking, man. That guy shouldn't have been in the ring. But yeah, I don't know.
It's because it's the pay-per-view model. They're not taking the normal approach that you normally do. What they want to do is they need an asset outside of AJ who can actually sell a lot in Britain, outside like the AJs and Whites, who in Matchroom can like fill out a stadium. That's what they want to do with Conor Benn. Is let's get him to the point where we're fighting these bigger names, but they're not really worth much, and they can get a highlight knockouts from him, right? Build his profile, and then maybe next year, which I said this year, he's going to spend another. Hopefully, he's active like he was in 2021. Gets 3 fights this year, and then next year they'll fight for a vacant belt once Crawford and Spence vacate and move up, and then that's how they'll build him and then move him up to like those stadium fights. But they just need to keep building his profile. It's making an asset basically and doing everything you can to keep that asset fresh, protected, and then also making the most money you can out of it. Like I was surprised they haven't sorted anything out with the Josh Kelly fight before. But if we're being real, Josh Kelly would have probably beaten him before last year. So
yeah, that would be 100% be the way I was looking at it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we all think that he's probably going to walk through Van Heerden. What rounds do you think he's going to get the knockout in?
Oh no, see, I'm not going to say that now because obviously I don't want you guys copying.
Okay,
Have you not submitted your thing already?
No, it hasn't.
This guy's killing me.
I don't do it on the thing. I do it on the group chat, and then I just add it to the.
Sam's is killing me. Oh no, Sam's getting all the points.
I already gave you Spence. I can't give you 2 gems. That's not really.
Oh my gosh, no. We need to bring him back down. He's come back down. Last year, this guy was at the bottom.
I told you, look.
Humble beginnings, bro. Keep that energy. You are at the bottom of us eating scraps.
Wait, I literally told you, look. Next year is smoke season, man down the whole season, and every single week consistently I've been.
Bro, it's just started. It's just started. Calm down, right? It's just started. We've still got time.
The whole like 6 weeks. Have I been anywhere other than like second?
All I'm saying is Sate's chatting all that smoke with me. Yeah. Last year, I joined in October. I was last. Obviously, you joined last.
That was last year. No one gave a monkey about last year.
No, I'm just saying. Last year, I joined last, and I still beat him. So,
damn.
With 2.5 months, I still beat him. So that's what I'm saying. I don't need that long.
Yeah.
I don't need that long. I'm
That's
coming.
Embarrassing, Saint, man.
All right. So
we'll talk about it in the group chat.
Yeah.
No, but I think Ben stops him. Why not? I think Ben stops him.
You should do.
Ben stops him.
I'm a nice guy, man. It's 4 to 6. There you go.
I don't know about that.
Everyone go copy me.
Do you know what? It's a mixed bag because sometimes Ben can't get these guys out of there. It depends how my man wants to come in and fight.
It's like the Cody thing, isn't it?
Depends.
You know, remember Cody? We thought he was
Yeah.
gonna like stop him, but
I thought he was
it's
gonna
like that.
stop that guy, but it went 12 rounds, so you never know, man. But yeah,
I'm
I
probably
need to
gonna
think
bank on
about it a bit
46.
more.
Yeah, I'm probably
Maybe
gonna bank
follow
on
Sam's
46.
Which means basically I'm gonna think about it a bit more and then come back and write what Sam's wrote. But cool. I even started off in the group chat earlier. I was like, yeah, there you go. I swear I put in there like 9 o'clock. I said, lock it in. Yeah, lock it in. Let me write lock it in.
What did you put on the online thing?
No, I've done the online one, but I've done it in the group chat. I said, look.
Let me do the online one now, but the guys are gonna drop off now, yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. All right, so we'll wrap up here. So hopefully everyone enjoys these these welterweight fights this week, and then next week we've got a Fury Wipe special, which is going to be very interesting. Hopefully we have a special guest joining us for that one, the esteemed Ringside Fury fan here that we have that only jumps on for the Fury fights. But yeah, so hopefully we see you then. So give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Music, like and subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Sweet.